Stay tuned for updated real news.
Every person has his or her own fears, and these fears can profoundly affect his or her dreams and plans. And everyone strives to be free of fears. But in times of the chaos and war, these fears often intensify. The bombs exploding in Crimea are intensifying fears in Kremlin. So, what is Vladimir Putin's greatest fear? Who is behind these explosions in Crimea? How much damage has the Russian Navy suffered from these explosions? And what strategic plans has the Ukrainian army prepared for Crimea? The back-to-back explosions in Crimea have caused an uproar around the world, and these events could radically change the course of the war and could be a turning point for Putin. As Anka Daily news team, we have conducted extensive researches on the explosions in Crimea, and we have also found important information about the Ukrainian army's plans and Putin's greatest fear. If you're ready for the details, here we go. Before we get to our report, I would like to make a small reminder. As Anka Daily News team, we strive to bring you the latest developments in Russia-Ukraine war, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. Also, I read all of your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments and tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on Anka Daily News channel. Let's start if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports. It has been almost 2.5 years since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine, and during which time the Ukrainian army has successfully defended itself against the Russian army. However, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky now wants this war to end. To this end, the Ukrainian army is planning to launch a major offensive in the spring. It is known that the Ukrainian army is making intensive preparations for this major offensives. Bayraktar drones, Leopard tanks, Javelin missiles, and HIMARS systems will be among the important elements of this operation. The Ukrainian army will launch the operation using all its power, and the aim is to push the Russian army out of Ukraine's borders. However, there was not yet clear information about exactly how this major operation would be carried out. The explosions in Crimea gave important clues. Every major event is rehearsed, and armies conduct exercises before launching operations. Sometimes they organize operations as a show of force and to check their battle plans. And the recent explosions in Crimea could be a rehearsal for a major offensive by the Ukrainian army. So what exactly happened in Crimea? Before analyzing the details of this operation, let me recall some information about the Russian bases in Crimea. Russia annexed Crimea in 2014. Crimea, a peninsula, is the home to many strategically important ports, and these ports play a critical role in ensuring dominance in the Black Sea. The Russian army planned to use these ports effectively. In addition, the warehouses in Crimea are also of great importance for the Russian army. The warehouses are used to ship weapons, food, and fuel to the Russian army's troops in Ukraine, and the Ukrainian army has made great efforts to cut the logistic network of the Russian army. Russian trains and military vehicles carrying weapons were destroyed. And in response to these developments, Putin decided to transport these weapons through Crimea. The fuel for the ships, tanks, and all military vehicles of the Russian army started to be sent from Crimea. Putin first sent these fuel tankers to the Crimean port, and then the Russian soldiers delivered this fuel to the war zone. The Ukrainian army intercepted Putin's plans and decided to launch an operation against the Russian fuel depot in Crimea. An operation was organized for tons of fuels in ports of Sevastopol on the Crimean Peninsula. In this remarkable operation against Russia, the Ukrainian military decided to use self-produced drones, and these drones managed to reach the Russian fuel depot silently and covertly. High-impact bombs dropped from the drones soon set the fuel depot ablaze. These explosions in Crimean port quickly spread throughout the Russian bases, and the fire engulfed not only in the fuel depots but also weapons depots and hangars housing military vehicles, and the large-scale fire could not be contained for a long time. Russian firefighters made great efforts to extinguish the fire, but it spread so fast that firefighters were helpless. The intensity of the fire in the fuel depot grew rapidly and became uncontrollable. The intensity of the fire in the fuel depot grew rapidly and became uncontrollable, and this dealt a heavy blow to the Russian military. Explosions in the harbor were visible from all over the Crimea, and sound of explosion caused panic among the Russian soldiers. Military commanders immediately contacted the Kremlin, but there was little Kremlin officials could do in the face of this massive operation. They were clearly unprepared for an attack of this scale. Just 24 hours before the attack, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that all security measures on land, in the air and at the sea in Crimea had been taken at the highest level. After Peskov's statements, Russian soldiers felt safe. However, the Ukrainian army showed to the world that Russia could not carry out a very effective operation despite all the defense measures. It is thought that the main purpose of the Ukrainian army in organizing this operation was to damage the Russian Navy. These ships of the Russian Navy needed the fuel depots in this port in order to carry out operations against Ukraine. However, by targeting these fuel depots, the Ukrainian military dealt a major blow to the Russian Navy and severely weakened their operational capacity. The successful operation once again demonstrated Ukraine's advanced level of strategic planning and military capacity. The Ukrainian military carried out an impressive operation using only 6 drones. So what will be the Ukrainian military's planned major offensives look like? Allegations in Ukrainian press are causing great unease in the Russian military. According to these claims, Kiev plans to use 30,000 drones for the big operation. This huge fleet of drones could destroy all Russian targets in Crimea. Following this massive drone attack, Ukrainian Leopard tanks are expected to advance into Crimea and take full control of this strategic region. The Russian military is almost helpless against Ukrainian drone strikes. Ukraine, which was able to inflict serious damage with only 6 drones in previous operations, can wreak much greater destruction with 30,000 drones. Such a large-scale drone attack raises serious doubt about how effective Russian defense systems can be. In a short summary, this major offensives planned by the Ukrainian army marks a new era in terms of military strategy and the use of technology. The Russian military faces a difficult test in the terms of how to develop a defense against this possible attack. But right now it's your turn. What do you think? Do you expect a change in the strategy of the Ukrainian army after the recent explosions in Crimea? And what do you think about the military activity in Crimea, and what are the long-term consequences of these developments? How do you assess the chance of the Ukrainian army succeeding in retaking Crimea? And what factors might influence this process? What do you think about the impact of the use of drones by the Ukrainian military on the course of the war? And do you think Russia's measures to protect its military presence in Crimea are sufficient? Let me know in the comments. As you know, I read and I care a lot about all of your comments.